having a great day. But okay, I am back to actually bind my real December Daily. We made a faux December Daily in the last video, December Daily, to show you how to use a little golden book and not have to cut the edges of the pages off. I didn't say it in the video because I made the video a couple times and I forgot the last time. I did put a little disclaimer in that one, but that technique was from Gail Agostinelli, and I will link her video down below. I apologize for that. I am going to today make a soft spine for my book, and this was all Carol Laws. This was her idea. I've never done it before, so I'm following her tutorial pretty much to a T. I like to do that the first time I make something, and then I can sort of go through and change it up to make it more my own style. But what I've done is taken 2 pieces of fabric and a piece of cotton batting that you can probably see in there, and a piece of muslin, and I have just glued all 4 layers together. And it makes it stable enough that it's not flopping all over the place, but it's nice and soft. And then I stitched on a row of trim on the bottom and the top, and I used Fabri-Tac to glue those layers together. It works really well. Okay, so that's what I have there, and I made this 3 inches wide because I only have 2 signatures. So I made the spine 3 inches wide. I'll move these out of the way. These are my pages, and this is my cover. So we'll be using that in a minute. And then I made a template for my spine that is, this is 1.5 inches. So my spine itself is going to be 1.5 inches, and the spine fabric is 3 inches so that I have space on either side to glue it. And how I did this, it's the same way I always do. You cut your cardstock or your printer paper, whatever, just use a scrap. You cut it to the width that you want your spine to be. In my case, it was 1.5 inches. Let's go ahead and just cut that so I can kind of show you. I was full steam ahead, and I thought, oh, I need to record this. Okay, so we'll make this one. Oops. Don't want to cut my pages. That would be sad. All right, let's cut this one at 2 inches. So we're pretending that our spine is going to be 2 inches and our book is only this tall, however tall that is. Our book is only 6 inches tall. It's a pretend book. Okay, so to make a template for 2 signatures, what I'm going to do is fold my paper in half. Okay, and then I'm going to fold each edge up to the middle. Oh, looks like this was a scrap template from something else. Now, if you're going to make a lot of little golden book journals, you can certainly keep this template and use it over and over. But I've just folded those in to the middle. The edges are meeting in the middle. Okay, so that is evenly spaced. Let me grab a pencil, and I will kind of mark so you guys can see a little better. I don't think you can see it on camera. Maybe a little bit. So those are evenly spaced. And then what I would do is fold it in half this way. And if you want to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I just fold it here, folding the bottom edge up to our middle fold. And I'm sure you guys have all seen this a million times, but sometimes a refresher is fun. And I know we have a lot of new friends that have joined us who've never made a journal. So hopefully, welcome, and hopefully this will be helpful. I am a goof, but you know, I get the job done. Okay, so where's our pencil? So now this is where those lines connect, cross over, whatever. And here, I just have to move it to see it. It's dark out now because here in Maine, it gets dark at like 2:30 in the afternoon. It's horrible. Not really. It's 4 o'clock anyway. Okay, so get those out of there. So now we have the lines for 2 signatures with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. If you wanted to do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, you can either fold this again like that and make your line, your dot right there, and do the same down here, or you can just eyeball it. If you're comfortable with that, by all means, just eyeball it. No big deal. Okay, so that would be for a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And then I always make sure to label the T for the top. It does make a difference, believe it or not. Okay, so that is exactly how I made this template. I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. All right, let's try it out on our fabric spine. So, okay, soft spine, here we come. So what I'm going to do ultimately is put our covers on like that, and I am going to sew to make sure they're well attached. As Carol says, belts and braces, which cracks me up. Okay, so I'm going to take this. This is our template for our pages, and I want to make sure that I've got it in the right place, and I've got it about in the middle. That looks about like the middle. So let's clip this down. Got the T at the top. Okay, so there's that. So we're going to glue this on here. This will come out. This is just to guide me. It's going to get glued there, and that's going to get glued there. So that looks right. But we need to miter these corners. So hopefully my Tim Holtz fabric will do it. So I'm just going to, no, I'm not. Let's see. How do I do this? These clips are in the way. I'm going to go rogue and just cut it. Yikes. Hope I don't regret it. And their little tassels are kind of fighting, but that's okay. So that's there. And this is here. Oh gosh, have I been on camera? I think I have been. Not too much of a cut, but this way, when we put the papers on the inside of our covers, this will be covered. Can I say cover again? I think you know what I mean. So now we'll clip that one back in place. And let's do the same down here. If I had flatter clips, I would use those. But I can't cut around those pink ones, which normally I love, but they're not that helpful in this case. Okay, so I'm turning it around and just mitering up to that fringe. Isn't that fringe cute? I think I got it at Michael's last year on clearance. Now it needs a little bit of a haircut, but that'll be okay. No one will know. There, all fixed. All kinds of debris flying around. Okay, so let's smooth that back out. Make sure that's still straight. That still looks pretty straight. It looks like maybe I shifted off center a little bit. This piece is a little wider than that one, but it's absolutely fine. It will not make any difference. Okay, so now it's time to start gluing. I'm going to put this side over here. Okay, so let's get out the Fabri-Tac. Oh, I should have had it on its side. Bummer. That one's not even open. That's not going to help us. Here we go. This is the one that's open. And it was on its side, so maybe it'll work out. Unless I glued it closed. That would be a bummer. Okay. Get down there. So I'm going to put glue all over here. Can't have enough. That is getting very thick. And then make sure I've got the right side. I'm going to put glue right along my book cover. And I can go in a little bit because we know that we have at least a ½ inch there. So I can add some more glue right in there. And then line this up. Pardon my head if I stick it in there, trying to make sure I get it just where I want it, nice and straight. That does look good. There we go. So I've got a little bit of a gap between the cover and my spine, and that's to allow for folding. Got the top and the bottom aligned. Let's turn that over. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. And then what we'll do is I have these papers from 49 and Market that will be our end papers. They'll cover that up. And we'll still have just a little border of that little golden book paper, which makes me happy. Okay, so that is glued. Very good. Now let's do the other side. I think if we do it this way, I might be able to see it better. Or this way. Yeah, that way. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so this we want to have on like that. Okay, just double check. Let's put some glue. Don't you hate it when the bottle's getting low and it gets all thick and fights with you? Okay. Get that on there. Oh, just got glue on my mat. I better wipe that up. Fabri-Tac will take the printing off of your cutting mat if you didn't know. Let's get that going the right way. So we want it on here. And again, I can go out a little ways from the edge just to make sure we get a lot of glue on there. And then we will place it there very gently, making sure I've got my edges even on my book. You're going to have to go there, mister. You're in my way. Quick, before it dries. Okay, this guy's going to have to come up a little bit. There we go. Better. Oh, look how cute that fringe is. I love it. Make sure those are even still. Perfect. Look at that. We got it in two. It's a miracle. We'll squish that down. Okay, now I've got to let that dry for a little bit before I put it through my machine, because I think the cover of the little golden book is going to make it matte enough. I don't think I want to put Fabri-Tac through there also. So hold on. I'm going to let it dry for a little bit and stitch it, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, you guys, I'm back. It's been about an hour or so. I wanted to let that Fabri-Tac dry. While I was waiting for it to dry, I went ahead and put all kinds of trim on the edges of my pages, which I think looks so festive. Can you even stand these pom-poms? No. Apparently they're my new favorite. I put all the trim on. I sewed it on. I went back through my pages to make sure they were still in order. And they were. Yay. So that's coming along beautifully. And meantime, this dried. And so I just went through and I stitched right along this edge. And right along this edge. I didn't go all the way around. And the only thing I wish I'd done differently was put my zigzag a little closer together. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it looks super cute. And those are on there really well. That's never ever going to go anywhere. And it kind of smashes the edge of the golden book down so you don't see that raw edge. So it's just perfect. And this is the inside. And what we will do, I'm going to bind the pages in first. But these are those end pages from 49 and Market. Does this have a right and a wrong way? Can't tell. I kind of like it that way, so hopefully I'll double check to make sure. But those will get glued down right in there and cover up the raw edges of our spine. And I think that looks really pretty. But first we're going to bind this rascal in. So 2 signatures, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. We've done it a million times. Let's do it again. I'm going to put our, actually let's do it this way. I'm going to put our template back in. Just kind of hold it here. Maybe clip it. That might be smart. Center it right in between our 2 signatures. That fringe tricks me about where the edges of the book are. There we go. Don't let your fringe trick you. It's no good. Okay, we'll get that centered in there. Nope, needs to go over just a little bit. There we go. And we'll clip it in there, and I'll get out my awl and my little pokey mat, and we'll put in our holes. I can't remember now. Gosh, how many times have I made this video? I think it was the beginning of this video that I showed you how to make a template, in case you've never done it. So this is just a styrofoam mat, and I'm going to put that right under there. Double check here. Yep, I've got my T up at the top. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. That looks nice and straight. I'm going to use a bigger awl this time. If you can see, it's got a wider base on it. That makes it easier to see the holes in fabric. And I'm just going to go in there, give it a little twist, make sure we can see it. In there. All right, so we've got our 6 holes. I'm going to make sure I can see them on this side too. So let's just go ahead and double poke those. If you can't see them right away, run your finger over it. Feeling them might make it easier because the fabric poofs out a little bit. And so you can kind of feel it with your finger where you've stabbed it. Right there. Okay, that ought to help. So we'll take those clips off, put our cover up there. We still need our template. What I'm going to do now is fold it right on one of those folds that we made already. And I took my signature, made sure it was in order. Everything was where I wanted it. And I folded it up like a taco. Did not lay it flat again. It's all folded up. And I took my ruler and kind of wedged it in there and pushed those pages down as tight as they would go. And then I put these clips on it. I might put a couple more just for good measure. Can never have enough clips. Okay, so that's exactly where I want everything. And I'm going to take this. This is our first signature. I'll take our template, make sure our T aligns with the top of our pages. That's important to do. Get that right where we want it. And this time I'm going to use my pokey tool, my Tim Holtz pokey tool. It makes slightly smaller holes, so it's not as visible in your book. We'll go in there, make sure we're going straight down. Yep, looks good, coming right through that fold. That one might have gone over just a little. We gave it an extra air hole. That's cool. All right, so there are our holes right along our spine, just the way we want them. So that's signature 1, and here's signature 2. Did exactly the same thing. And I will take our template again, line it up in there. And I know you guys, again, have seen me do this 1,000 times. But as I said, we have some new friends who have never made a journal or a little golden book journal. And so it's nice to show in case you're new. Remember back in the olden days when you were new? Seems like forever ago, doesn't it? Okay, so excellent. We have all of our holes poked in that signature as well. Now put this out of the way. I did you the favor of pre-threading my needle because, well, no one wants to watch that. So now what we will do is take our cover, and my thread is 3 times the length of my book and maybe a little extra because I'd rather waste 2 cents worth of thread and not run out, because that's kind of a pain in the butt when you have that happen. Okay, I want my string. Do I? No, I think this time, just for fun, we'll start on the inside. I'm starting with my second signature. And I'm going to go right through my center hole. Hopefully. Oh, yeah, look at that. So far, so good. And I'm going to find my middle hole in my spine. That must not be it. Why can't I feel it? What is happening? What is happening? All right, there we go. Whoa. There we go. Go right through there. pull it. You don't want to pull your tail all the way through, so leave a little bit there. And then we're going to go up to our top hole or go down to your bottom hole with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. It doesn't matter which direction you go. Come through our top hole. With all that glue in there, it's a little bit hard to get through, but not terrible. I have my flat nose pliers here in case I need some help. Those come in handy. And we'll go right in there. Well, look at that. So far, so good. Now, full disclosure, when I was sewing on my trim on the edges of my pages, I did have a couple sewing mishaps. That was a bummer. Always pay attention to what you're sewing and what's layered behind it. But it's nothing, you know, insurmountable. It'll be a problem for future me. When I get to those pages, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Down to that bottom hole. Come through like that. Straighten up our pages. Pull it taut, but not so tight that you tear your paper. Check it on the back. Make sure it's taut back there as well. We're going to go, this is the only tricky part, and it's not that tricky. What we want to do now is go through this middle hole again without splitting the thread. If you split the thread, it just makes it really hard to tighten everything up. So do what you can. Sometimes it takes a little finagling. I'm just holding it like that so I can see. And there we are, right on the inside. And I'll pull that through. Isn't that cake gorgeous? Red velvet peppermint cake. Sign me up. I would like a piece right now. Okay, I'm just pulling it in all directions. I take my clips off. Just kind of weigh it down a little bit, and it makes it a little harder to pull everything nice and taut. And let's close that up. Our back looks good. Excellent. So you can see the stitching that we did right there. Our other one will go right in front of it. Looking good, nice and tight. That was actually a not good thing. Don't pull it this way. It's easier to rip your paper. If you pull it in the direction you were sewing, that makes it a little less likely to rip your papers. And we'll tie a knot there. I will unthread this guy. Tie another knot. And one the other direction, just for good luck. Never had a book come untied. Knock wood. Let's see if we can tie a bow. I'm terrible at doing that on camera. And the tradition remains. Yep, the tradition stands. No bow for us. We'll just leave it as a knot right now. And so I will do exactly the same thing on the other signature, and I'll come back and show you our book. Oh, it already feels super nice, you guys. I love how it feels. That's awesome. All right, I'll come right back and show you how it looks after I sew in the next signature. Sit tight. Hey, you guys, I'm back. I got everything all bound in, and I just love it. Oh, I love this book so much. As I said, I already started it. Yep. Because time's a wasting. It goes fast, doesn't it? It seems like it was just Halloween a minute ago. So everything's all bound in nice and tight. I've got plenty of extra room in case we have extra things come up for Christmas. And I have all my trims sewn on. I don't have to journal on the storybook pages. I've got enough pages without them. And that makes me happy because look, oh, he's so cute. I love these pages. So we've got all kinds of things in here, and I'm really happy with it. And both signatures are in. You can see the pretty fabric in between, and it gives it lots of room to get chubby. All right, so, yep, I'm liking it. Working out for me. let's go ahead and put on these end papers, and we will be done with binding this journal. These are 49 in market from last year. I got them from our sweet friend Michelle H. at Your Crafting Source, and I will, of course, link her down below. Anything I mentioned, I will make a note of and link down below. And I just want to make sure that this is kind of even. I don't really want to cover up our stitching because I like it. And I want to kind of leave an even border up and down. So we will go ahead and I'm just going to glue the tar out of this. And I will probably leave it overnight with clips on it. So we can try to make sure. We've got quite a bump there where the spine is, as thick as it is. So I want to make sure to clip it down, give it plenty of encouragement to stick. And I think it'll be just fine. Boy, this still doesn't want to come out. I had it tipped on its head for a while too. And it's being difficult. Get right up to those edges. Get in the middle. Leave that on its side. Make sure this is right side up. And just check those borders. I do want to close this because I managed to get a little pucker in the fabric on the spine. So I want it to lay in the right place. And I think it'll be just fine. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Let me grab my clips. After I let it sit overnight, I'll come back and make sure that it's nice and tight in all those bulky places. Seems pretty good so far. Put another clip right up here. Oh, I think I just got glue on the front. What a klutz. In case you didn't know, there's a thing called an adhesive eraser. Let me find mine and show it to you. She says, should be right here. Right here is where all my stuff like that lives. No, of course not. Why would it be where I expected it to be? Ah, here it is. This is an adhesive eraser, and once your Fabri-Tac dries, you can go in with this, and it'll roll it right off. These are magical. And again, I will link that down below in case you don't have one. They're really very handy. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Again, I do think it needs to sit overnight. And I'm thinking I might put book corners on. I wanted to put the end paper down first, but I might put end paper or book corners on, and we need a closure. So maybe we'll do one more video of this guy. Who knows? Anything could happen. At least I have it so that I can journal in it now, and I won't get terribly far behind. We're not expecting a very flamboyant month of December. My girls are busy, 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 and Mark's kids are out in Washington State and will not make it here. So I don't know what'll happen. We'll get into some kind of mischief, I'm certain. We will find some trouble to get into. Tomorrow is the Chester Greenfield Parade and celebration here in Farmington. You probably remember me yammering about it last year because for some reason it really entertains me. But he is the gentleman who invented earmuffs, and he was born and raised here in Farmington, Maine. And there's a big parade for him, and they put giant earmuffs on the mailboxes down at the post office. I don't know, it's funny. So I always like a parade, although they're saying it's going to be about 8 degrees, so I might not like a parade that much. We will see what the weather actually does. Okay, put lots and lots of Fabri-Tac on that, smoothing it down. Where are my other clips? Oh, here are my big clips. We'll use the big ones. Pull out the big guns, and I'm just putting those right on the corners where it's extra bulky. And I want to say thank you to Carol Laws again, clever lady that she is, for showing us how to make this beautiful soft spine. I think it's going to be super fun. It feels very squishy and nice already, and I think it will accommodate all kinds of December hijinkery. Oh, now my glue wants to come out. of course. Always the way, isn't it? Cap that up before it goes too crazy. Okay, so we've got our book here. I'm going to lay it so it can dry. The spine looks awesome with that beautiful fabric. Super happy with this. You do have to mess with it a little bit because the spine is flexible. So it moves a little bit, but I love how it feels and I love how it looks. So that will be my December daily. As I said, I think the next video I'll come back and put on some book corners and a closure. And who knows, maybe we'll make a tassel. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. If you haven't made a little golden book journal before, give it a shot. It's super, super fun. And you can generally find them very cheaply at the thrift store or at antique malls. And I guess that's about it. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you had fun. I know I did. And I'll see you again real soon.